Hello,
I'm Pooja,
I'm Kritika.
and welcome to the Best,
Best
Friend
Friend
podcast. So, in the previous episode, we promised you guys that we're going to talk about marriage from this episode onwards. And when we mean marriage, we mean relationships and
Yeah.
marriage. And
It is very exciting for us to talk about it.
because there's so much, and it's like a never-ending topic.
Yeah.
It's a never-ending topic for the podcast as well as for as in like
In
real life, and it just keeps going on
Adding
and
on.
on. There's a new thingy that happens every day, and we're like,
Yeah.
nobody told us about this shit.
Yeah. And sometimes I wonder, how did you and I come to this from
From like, I am never gonna get married.
yeah.
I'm gonna stay
I mean,
single.
I knew I was gonna get married someday. Like me getting
You
married,
you knew you were gonna get married by the age of 25 or maximum 26.
yeah.
And
Not so early. Like 24 we got married.
आंटी एक तो आंटी had it already.
Correct. She had
22
a
से
plan,
ढूंढना
yeah.
चालू करूंगा, फिर जाके बात पक्की होगी,
हाँ.
देन शादी के लिए एक साल लगेगा, फिर शादी होते होते 26 तो हो जाता
हो
करके
जाती, हाँ.
आंटी had a plan.
Correct. And also like it just happened out of the blue. Like neither of us planned it, neither of us wanted it to
Yeah.
begin with, and it was it's just so conversations between me and Pooja before we got married were very vague, right? We would talk about everyday life, like what's going on. I ate this. What did you eat? I went.
Are you alive?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
basic conversations
Like
that.
work, this happened, and you
Yeah.
went stuck, and mummy did this, or
Yeah.
some shit like that at
Now
home.
it's the complete opposite. Now,
What did you cook today?
yeah, what are you going to eat?
Yeah.
It's
What are you going to eat is the
biggest
It's
question.
a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very irritating to think अभी lunch हुआ ना, अब dinner के लिए क्या खाए या कल क्या बनाए.
Yeah. You're eating and then you're like, okay, what do I cook
next. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like before getting married, we had a very different perception of what marriage would be, or what a
Definitely.
wedding would be like.
Definitely.
Like that event, and
Yeah.
then the life events
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah.
And after the whole thing happened, it's like a complete 360. It's not what we expected
Nobody
at
told us.
all.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, because I was always very ladylike, I enjoyed the full tam jam of the haldi, the mehendi, the sangeet, and just the entire shenanigan of getting married. And I think for her, it sort of caught up on her. Like if it was up to her, she would just go to a court, sign and get it done with it.
It was a running joke, and I'm saying running joke because I've always told my parents,
I'll run away.
I'll run away and get married, but I'll tell you so that we can end up saving money.
Yeah.
Like भाग के शादी करी तो कौन क्या खर्चा रहता है घर के. It was a running joke.
Yeah, but she also had full tam jam. For us, her shadi was like a destination wedding because it happened in Ajmer. Yeah, it was like full on. We were just
If my husband would not have asked for the tham jam, it would have never happened. And my mom was like, Umang wants that whole haldi paldi wala scene.
Yeah.
So, of course, he's also getting married once only.
Correct.
No, it's his wedding also. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I was like, हाँ मेरा क्या जा रहा है कर लेते उसमें खुश हो रहे बोल तो I was like हाँ ठीक है we'll do it. Otherwise, like I said, court marriage done and dusted.
Yeah.
For me, it was about the commitment of marriage. It was not about the wedding. And for you, it was lehenga ready hai, venue ready hai, दूल्हा ढूंढो करके.
Exactly. It was literally like that. For me, it was I was ready. I just needed
the दूल्हा.
The दूल्ha.
Yeah.
But we both got married. I got married in November. She got married in January, and it'll
be 1 year next month, bro.
It'll be 1 year.
Just time flies like that once you get married. First anniversary, it's like, oh, first anniversary, it's like that.
Yeah. And I think, see, I don't know how to say this in a way where, see, there is absolutely no way where we're not telling people don't get married. Get married. It's adventurous. It's full on time pass. It is
lots of drama.
Yeah, it'll keep you hooked. So
next episode,
this podcast or the coming episodes, whatever we share, vent or rant or whatever we say, none of it, we don't want you to get the idea of, oh, is this what marriage is like? So I don't want to get married.
Because we're going to be telling about the difficult parts,
Yeah.
which will help maybe you figure out, okay, this is something
Yeah.
that is happening with me, this is how I can navigate through it.
Yeah.
And of course we'll be sharing, you know, like really nice happy parts as well.
Yeah.
But you're not going to learn anything from the happy parts.
Correct.
Right. So it's going to be more of the challenges and all of that.
Yeah.
And if you look at it from only one point of view, then you'll be like, oh no, let's just not do this, because that's how it feels. But honestly, abhi, you know, right now, ever since I've gotten married, it's like living with a best friend.
Correct.
But of course, it's different, because if I was living with Kita, it would be a lot more
fun.
But yeah, it is like living with your best friend.
It's like sleepover every day.
Yeah, that's what it's like.
Yeah, I mean, you have this one person that no matter what, in the end of the day, is going to stand by you. Like, imagine this: if you have like a group of friends, like you and I have just each other, right? But if we had like a group of friends, and if we were to take advice from them, or just let them have an opinion on our life, they probably have an ulterior motive for that. Like, one of them could be jealous of us, or one of them could be just having fun.
Insecure.
Correct. But the husband or the wife, basically your spouse, they just want the best for you. There is no other ulterior motive. So being married is like having that one person you can come back to and know that, okay, this is my safe space. Like, nothing wrong can happen here. But again, everybody's perspective of marriage is different. Ours is this. And if you have a different one, please do let us know.
Yeah, like, you know, for people out there who are not married yet,
Yeah.
or who are planning to get married, tell us what you think marriage is gonna look like. And for your expectations out of marriage, like, comment that stuff down below.
Yeah.
What do you think? Like, what was that picture of, you know, a married life that you had before getting married?
So I grew up watching these Bollywood movies of Hum Saath Saath Hain and Hum Aapke Hai Kaun, wherein every day is a rainbow, right? Every day is like a sunny day, and you know, everybody's happy,
exciting every day.
Yeah, there's something new every day. And how in those movies the daughter-in-law was just accepted.
Yeah, like ये तो घर की बेटी है, बहू नहीं है.
And forget about the daughter-in-law being accepted. The daughter-in-law had accepted herself
as the bahu.
Yeah, and I thought, I grew up watching all those movies, and I'm a hopeless romantic. So I was like,
hopeless is the keyword. Yeah.
And I was like, I want this. Like, I want a big family. I wanted to. I wanted to host these fancy dinners. I still do that. I still like calling people, but now I realize kitna kaam hai.
It's hosting fancy dinners is something they show you in those movies and your serials. What they don't show you is the amount of bartan that's left in the sink later.
Yeah, and also they don't show you the amount of help that they have. Like, कुछ 4-5 नौकर है उनके घर पे.
In those Bollywood films.
Yeah.
And for us, for me, bro, marriage, you know, like, none of that wedding, none of that wedding bells or haldi paldi, none of that was there in my mind. For me, it was about, it was just about living together.
Yeah.
Getting to live with your partner together. And that's it. Like, and that was like one thing.
Yeah, like, whatever happens after that.
No, it was just, we're living together. Like, just imagine, okay, if I have to ask you to visualize it, imagine a dollhouse with like furniture and just two people inside it. That, my brain was just stuck at that. Like, nothing aage, nothing piche. Just two dolls, that Ken and Barbie, just standing in the dollhouse and like, we are living together in this dollhouse. Hi Ken, hi Barbie, and that's it. Like, I did not even think beyond that. Just living together was like one checkbox sort of
marriage,
thing. Yeah. But one like expectation that I had was, me and my husband, we're both working.
Yeah.
You and your husband both working.
Yeah.
And I am big on being vocal, equalism and all of that. And because we're both working, I had the expectation that both of us will contribute equally to the household. And now this is something that my husband has not seen in his childhood.
Right.
Because for him, his mom used to take care of the house. She was the homemaker.
Right.
And his dad would provide financially to the house.
Right.
So for him it was very different. But he my husband's also great. He does a lot of things by himself. In fact, he likes keeping the house more clean than I do. Like he's more of the, oh, this new jhadu, shall we buy it, like that. And as my father, adulting. That's how he is. But that was one expectation that I had, that both of us, me and my husband, will be equal contributors in the house. Be it equal contributors,
financial or
equal contributors in the sense of effort.
Correct.
Like if I cook, you can clean. Or if I cook and clean today, then
you do it tomorrow.
You do it tomorrow or some other day. You can pick up where I slack off. And it was never about the finance thing. Like, okay, if I bring 1 rupee to the house, you'll also bring 1 rupee. Nothing like that. You're putting your effort at work. I'm putting my effort at work. Whatever. We're both bringing something, and that's like one pool.
Correct.
So that was there always in my head. And few things that I had expected, it was there. But one thing that was very like expectations versus reality was, now both of us are living together. Okay, at one point both of us would have like an off or like something, and both of us are sitting at home. And there's no other phase we've seen that entire day except each other's.
I feel like in any relationship, let it be husband or wife or best friends or mother-daughter, father-son, whoever, I think you need to give that space to each other, because you are an individual person yourself. And I think that giving that space to one another will help you miss the other person. Miss as in like to get the spark back, or
it's like, see, if you do not know what it feels like to miss a person, you will never value them.
Correct.
Or like if you do not know what it will be like in their absence,
Correct.
you will not value their presence.
Yeah, true, very true. And I feel, especially during the pandemic, I feel like either a lot of people got pregnant or they got divorced because they were bored out of their mind, so they fought,
or they just had a lot of fun together,
and they made a baby out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, but I think COVID also taught us a lot of things about survival. Like if you're just stuck indoors, what to do. I started doing that dalgona coffee, and I made like a cake at home, and I started doing these stupid TikTok videos which I never posted because I was too embarrassed about it.
But yeah, another thing is the wedding preparations.
Yeah.
It feels so much, I say, if you look at it from a third person's perspective, it's so much fun. Shopping jao, ye karo, wo karo, buy this, buy that.
It's very overwhelming, okay?
Bro,
I was working at the time when I was about to get married, and if my marriage is today, I took chutti 3 days before, because I did not want to be involved in the whole shopping karo, ye karo, because
auntie had a lot of fun though.
Yeah, my mom loves doing it anyway. She is so ready for shopping any day. She doesn't get tired also. But for me, it was like, I'm the bride. The emotions were a roller coaster. Okay, and I knew that if I quit, if I just took a break like a month before my shadi and all,
you will sit and wallow in those thoughts.
And I'll become like this depressed person, because I mean, it's a little, sad to think about.
One thought both of us had during the wedding preparation was, bro, this is so expensive. And both of us felt so guilty that
somebody else is spending on
somebody else, like our parents are spending on it.
Yeah.
And it was just that emotion, that intense feeling of guilt, that this is so expensive and our parents, have their hard-earned money is going to this. That'll just get over in a day, and it'll only remain in photos and nobody will like remember about it.
Yeah. and people will, no matter how much you spend on a wedding,
They will still
still
say
say
something or the
something.
other.
And I just was not ready for that criticism. Ek to I don't handle criticism well anyway. Okay, you can tell me something. There's a way you can tell me. Okay, but I hate it. And I think the whole this thing about a wedding. Me and her were talking just before we started filming the podcast. We come from very different cultures than our husbands, and
The exact opposite.
right. And even though we're opposites, like she's a South Indian, my husband's a South Indian, her husband's a North Indian, I'm a North Indian. We have variations in that also. Like what her husband does, yeah, there are some similarities, but not all. And her and my husband, again, it's a, zameen asman ka farak hai. And for two such extreme cultures, like if it's south and south, like let's say a Telugu and a Tamilian, there'll still be some
Like the
similarity.
Muratam ka similarity.
Correct. But from north to south, it's polar opposites. And to come to a common point, it's very overwhelming because you don't want to upset anybody,
Yeah.
but you also want what you want.
We wanted to preserve our traditions,
Yeah.
but we did not want to piss off the family that we were entering into as well.
Correct.
So, to manage everybody's emotional and cultural needs was a huge task.
Yeah.
And being the bride, being the future bahu of that family,
Yeah.
it was a toll on our,
On us.
on us as well.
Yeah.
And one example I'll give you. So, in the North Indian weddings, commonly the muhurtam is around 2 a.m., 3 a.m.
Early
in the
morning,
night, 4 a.m., early morning.
Yeah.
And for South Indians, or at least for my community, I come from Mangalore, and we do not have very strict traditions and all. But the little that we follow, our weddings happened during the day, as in like 12 o'clock in the afternoon, 1 o'clock in the
A
afternoon.
little ease.
Like it was very chill wedding and all of that.
Yeah.
And now let's imagine 1st January is the date of the wedding. Now, for if it is according to the South in like our Mangalore culture, it's supposed to happen on 1st January. But according to my husband's muhurtam, it was supposed to happen on 2nd January 2 a.m. But it was counted as 1st January, only. But it was on the next 2 a.m.
Correct.
So we were like, oh my god, what do we
do?
And then thankfully there was a common muhurat for both, which was a Gaudhuli muhurat or something like that. And my in-laws are great. They're like, yeah, works for us. Muhurat to muhurat hi hota hai. In dono ka sahi hai to it's nice. And ever since me and my husband got married during the Gaudhuli muhurat, no bro, everybody from my in-laws side, my family, जिसका भी wedding अभी आ रहा है ना, 3-4 शादियां आ रहे हैं, everybody is following the Gaudhuli muhurat only. They're like, कौन करेगा रात में शादी?
It's convenient also for you that you're doing it around 3-4 o'clock in the
evening, lights, pictures, and everything is nice.
Yeah.
So we found a common ground, thankfully. But apart from that, also, itne like alag traditions.
A lot,
for you had to wear that 9 yards sari.
So I was just thinking about it. Ki, like I mentioned, I always dreamt about getting married. Right?
Lehenga.
So I wanted a proper, because that's what I saw growing up, and that's how my family has been, and that is what my mom also wanted for myself. But my husband, he's a Tamilian, he's an Iyengar, and in them the tradition is, the women they wear a sari which is 9 yards long. Now 9 yards is also Maharashtrian style of tying, but again the style varies. So because it would make my in-laws happy, I was like, ठीक है, let's just abhi, if I'm getting married in a certain tradition, might as well do it properly, like the way it's supposed to be. So I agreed on it, and I wore the 9 yard sari and everything. And every I feel every culture has its own beauty to it. But I'm just used to seeing full jhatak, like it has to have like shimmer and
chunky punky and all that.
Like it should, like your eye, you would want to shut your eyes looking at it. That's my this thing of a traditional wear, because you wear it like once in a while, right? And that's what I'm used to it. But on the south side, as simple as it is, the more grace it is to it. I don't understand it. But then my mom, she still made an effort. She got the blouse all worked so that
Embroidered and all of
हाँ,
that.
so that
थोड़ी छटक रहती.
थोड़ी झटक रहती है. I'll also be happy. But yeah, that was one of the huge difference that I saw. And I'm a Punjabi. I'm a Punjabi and a Marathi. My हमारे पास the shadis are, like she said, like 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and पूरी रात वो चलती है. And then morning around like 10, 11, the vidai and all happens. And here the
Muhurtam was 6 o'clock.
it was
Maybe 9
9
o'clock,
o'clock.
but started at like 5:30, 6
Exactly.
o'clock.
Like my makeup artist was there at like
4
4
a.m.
o'clock in the morning. And it was a whole, like, somebody had to keep telling us कि अभी ये करना है, अभी ये करना है.
Yeah.
And my mom was on the toes the entire time because it was so different and she didn't want anything to go wrong. So the entire time she's like, okay, you want this? ठीक है, ठीक है. And I just felt so bad for her because she was just running around and doing all this. Because if it was, the shadi would be in our tradition, she would know what to do. She wouldn't be so panicked. She'd be relaxed. She'd be prepared for it. But yeah, I think the interculture weddings
Yeah.
are not as were not as common as
Back
it is
in
now.
the day. And even during like my wedding, no bro.
Yeah.
It's like पूरा जमीन आसमान का फर्क.
Yeah.
Like there were things we hadn't even heard about कि ये रस्म भी होता, ये रस्म भी है,
Yeah.
ये रस्म भी है करके. So like no idea. And
The
my
only
mom,
rasam you knew was that
Mangalsutra wala.
No,
And the
the
rasam, the
rasam
eating
rice.
rasam was the only rasam I knew of it, honestly. And me and my mother still joke कि एक ही रस्म है हमको जो मालूम है जो अपन अपन होटल में बनाते करके. Very funny. So the thing is, अभी शादी अजमेर में है ना?
Yeah.
And we cannot go to Ajmer and buy and keep things and
Correct.
इतना खर्चा होता है and all of that.
Correct.
So my mom's a very smart lady, okay? And what she told is, of course, we said because it's happening in Ajmer, जो भी tradition है, everything we will follow from one side.
Right.
Because if we get two pandits will only fight कि ये
Correct.
south में, north में ये गलत, वो गलत, ये
Yeah.
गलत. We
Full
didn't want
tam
that.
jam, yeah.
We said you get your Ajmeri pandit,
Pandit.
the Maithili Brahmin pandit.
Yeah.
And you do पूरा उसके
Your
हिसाब से.
हिसाब
Just
से.
one Godholi Murat you do ours. And second thing I requested my mother-in-law saying, my wedding I want to wear pattu sari.
Yeah.
And like, proper South Indian bride I want to look like. She's like, हाँ बेटा wear you. She said. I was like, okay, awesome. And for the reception I wore a lehenga. So everybody was happy.
Yeah.
So during that time, my mom, obviously she has no idea. And ऐसे ये थाली खरीदना, इस थाली में ये रहना, ये बनियान, ये pant shirt, this, that, all of that had to be bought, for the wedding, for the relatives and all of that. And like, we have no idea because वो traditions कुछ है ही, करे भी नहीं अपन कभी.
Correct.
So my mom and my mother-in-law were like, my mom told my mother-in-law, you need, this is your son's wedding.
Yeah.
This is my daughter's wedding. Both of us wanted to happen nice. Whatever traditions you have, do everything. You get whatever is supposed to be bought and let's do it. Because I cannot come there and buy because I don't know where we will find it in your city.
And थोड़ा गलत हो गया तो भाई.
थोड़ा गलत हो गया तो everybody will be upset. So you figure out whatever needs to be bought and purchase, and then we'll sit and we'll figure it out. But that understanding was there.
Correct.
And that understanding only comes when both the families are happy that you're getting married. Now कुछ cases में क्या होता है, love marriage बोल के, sometimes it's the girl's parents. Bro, I heard this one thing, okay? I don't know which relative of mine, but apparently their daughter is a doctor.
Okay.
And the damad that they had was, I think, some other profession. And love marriage को 10-15 साल से ऐसे प्यार में है वो और शादी होना. So the girl's family is like, no, we want to get a doctor only married to our daughter. We want a doctor damad करके, the girl's parents.
Okay.
And they, like they were not very happy. But finally, because
they got married.
They got married.
Yeah.
And kuch side pe it is there from the boys side that I have to choose my son's wife.
Bahu
I want to
all,
choose the bahu. And that's also there, from certain families. Like वो भी बहुत ज़्यादा, it creates a lot of challenges over there as well. And sometimes, you know, I see a lot of reels on Instagram and all. Sometimes it's a love marriage, but because the parents are not happy, because the girl's parents are not happy with the match, the girl tries to overcompensate, and the boys side they're saying ये tradition है, ये इसको साड़ी ये देना, इसको पैंट ये देना, and the girl's side of the family is like नहीं नहीं कुछ नहीं देना, कुछ नहीं देना मेरे को, and the girl overcompensates by saying please दे दो, please दे दो.
It's just sad.
It's just sad.
I mean, I get it. You know, you're not happy or whatever. It is not your decision because you're not spending your life with the person that she chose. She has to spend the life.
And I do not understand the concept where the parents are not happy that their child has married somebody.
I mean, your child is happy, dude. What more do you want?
I mean, see, listen to it from this point of view, okay? The child is getting married for the parents' happiness.
Yeah.
And the child has to live with that partner for their entire life. Somebody else has chosen. Bro, in this age, we do not wear the clothes that somebody else has selected for us.
Life partner kya chunenge?
For buying one furniture, one chair or one bed in our house, we go and look at 500 different shops and we sit on that bed, we lie down and we see ये correct है, फिर वो bed पे जाके सोते. And here you're telling, I will choose the person, you spend your entire life with them.
Yeah.
And then
these are those kind of people who are afraid of चार लोग क्या कहेंगे.
Yes. And that's the worst
kind of people.
Like your own child's happiness does not matter to you, but random 4 other people's happiness is more important for you.
Yeah, that's just very sad.
And it's such a sad concept.
Yeah. I mean, there's also this thing where, you know, if you get, you know, let's say we had an arranged marriage and things don't go so well, the parents will support because, you know, they found the match. But only if it's a love marriage, the parents will be like, you only chose the guy, you deal with it now. If it was our choice, we would bring a nice family. How do you know that? How long have you known the family for? I mean, and it still happens in a lot of families, or, you know, the women she's so scared to go
Tell
back
her
to
family.
her own house. And, you know, have you ever noticed sometimes when, you know, the women, when she gets married, right, she kya kehte hain, she goes to the mom's house. Ek to they start calling it mom's house. That's just very sad as it is.
There was a joke, okay? So my nephews had come over to Hyderabad, and nephews bolto Umang's own sister's kids. So they're my nephews, such cute kids, okay? And adorable. And they'll just call up. They'll call up, and on the phone they won't ask Mama kidhar hai, my husband. They'll be like Mami kidhar hai. They'll ask for me. They're adorable. So, you know, my mom's house is like literally like 5 minutes away from my house, and they would call it Pia Didi ka ghar, which is my sister's house. They would not call it my house. They're like, my house is this where I live in, and the other house where my mother lives is my sister's house apparently. And I'm like, huh? No, that's my house. Say, Mami ka ghar ja rahe ho karke. So
I mean, we only start calling it. So when I call her, she says, come home. And I'll have to ask her, where, your house or your mom's house? Because it's become like that. So that is, and we do that very subconsciously.
Yeah.
It's not.
Now we've started differentiating, saying Kondapur, Bachupalli, Miyapur, Gachibowli, kaun sa wala ghar aana hai. And we don't call it mom's house or your house anymore.
Because it's just very sad to hear that, because we lived there once.
That house was our home
at that time. And then now, like, if let's say I go to my mom's house, right? And then while I'm leaving, I tell her, I'm going back to my house. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm going back to my house? And my mom hates it. My mom hates it when I say, come to my house, or I'll come to you. She's like, what is yours and mine? Just say come home, and I'll understand which is what. And I feel like us as women, no, we subconsciously accept it, or just be like,
because इतने सारे time से in those Bollywood movies they've drilled कि पराया घर and all of that, and it's just a dumb concept. And you know, whenever I go to mummy, whenever I go home, what I do is I don't call it mummy's home or my home. I call it the name of that apartment, like S.V. Ramarao apartment or Rolling Hills apartment or the Ramki apartment, whatever the name is. I call it that apartment ka name instead of my home, your home, or the geographical location.
Correct. And I genuinely want to know, is this like a written, like an unspoken rule where, the girl just decides to up and leave her house and start a life with the husband? Is it a written thing, or are we doing it as a choice?
I feel like everybody has done it, so that's how it's just been now. Like, ठीक है, if you look at it बहुत पुराना time से, तो उस time पे women were not allowed to work.
Right.
So they had no income. And the person who had an income was the husband.
Yeah.
Now husbands were usually, back then they were farmers or whatever.
Right.
Now if you are a farmer, you cannot just upend your land and just take it elsewhere, no?
Correct.
So then the woman who had no financial income would move into the man's house because he would have an income over there. So I feel that's where the whole thing comes. Abhi to everybody, now what has happened is, like for me and my husband, both of us have work in a certain place. So we chose to live in like a certain area. And it's not like his house or my house. We're just living, somewhere else because of work.
Yeah. I feel like, every married couple, this is one advice that I will give you as a married lady, that every married couple, at least for the initial 1 year, should live alone. It doesn't matter if you're coming from a love marriage or if you're coming from an arranged marriage. I feel like being in a relationship with a person is a lot different than living with that person, because then you can probably take a trip. Maybe you guys have been dating for like 10-15 years. You went on trips together, you spent 4 days together.
That's very different from living
together. There are a lot of things that you might not like about that person, but because you're married, you can't change that. And you can't change a person because that's the person you fell in love with, right? And now
these quirks were unknown to you during that time because you never lived with him.
Exactly.
But mostly what I think you're trying to say is, when it's only the two of you, husband and wife, or spouse and spouse, husband, wife, whatever you guys are, if it's only you two in one house, you both have the privacy and the privilege of sharing special moments with each other, be it a happy moment or a sad moment. If you're fighting, both of you can scream at the top of your voices, fight it out, and then make up.
Correct.
Later, at your own terms, at your own pace, at your own time, and according to your own decisions. But when you're living with family, because there's a third person or fourth person,
you have to be like considerate about what other people see. I feel like more than anything, it creates a foundation which is
for your relationship.
Which makes your relationship so strong, and also it's a journey. See, when you get married, both of you are getting married. It's just not me who's getting married, just not my husband that's getting married. It's together. So for us to start this new journey, it's a beginning for me already because I'm leaving my house and coming, right? It should be a beginning for the guy also. Now, I have unavoidable circumstances because of which I couldn't do that. But given a chance, me and my husband would have lived alone. But I'm saying this as an advice, just so that a lot of misunderstandings tend to happen in the first year of marriage itself, because it's all new to you. Everything is new. Even the goddamn bed that you're sleeping on is new.
The curtains, the lighting, the AC, the fan, the sound of the fan, the speed of the fan.
Yeah, everything is new, and for you to get adjusted to it, and your mind starts thinking that this is
one simple change.
Yeah.
When I used to live with my parents, we used to use Everest ka garam masala. Now when you're living at somebody else's house, they're using some catch ka garam masala. और वो गरम मसाले की फर्क कुछ लोगों को खाने में पता चल के उनका दिमाग खराब होता है. And it's so tiny things. And when both of you leave your comfort and come to one place, nobody is in a privilege that they're already in their comfort zone and you're absolutely new to that environment.
Correct. And you're never gonna get used to it. Trust me, you're never, because how do you compare 25 years of a
Living-
certain
living with certain,
lifestyle
yeah.
to, it's not going to happen in a year or two. It can only, you can only develop something new. That is if you're both coming from a uncomfortable zone where you make a third zone that is your comfort zone.
Yeah.
You can't get up from your comfort zone, get into somebody else's comfort zone and call it yours. That's never going to happen, because they are set in their ways. They will wake up at the same time, they will go do their work at the same time. It's you who has to change a certain thing. Now I have been very open and clear about certain things, that I work the night shift. I will not be able to wake up in the morning. I don't know how to cook. Even if I know, I will not do it because I don't like to cook, and I will not be confined to the kitchen. And that's another thing. A lot of women, who are about to get married, you'll have to make these things clear. Living with the in-laws or not living with the in-laws, you have to make these things clear कि मैं ये चीजें करूंगी या नहीं करूंगी. Because later it's a surprise for the guy also.
Yeah.
कि अरे, you should have at least told me. I would have thought about it, made arrangements about it. But if you don't be vocal about what you want, what you don't want, it's never gonna. It's a simple thing about your sleeping habits. You can't expect him to be like,
I'll tell one thing, bro. Like, see, I am a primary rice eater. My husband is a primary roti eater. Okay. Now, one thing that my mother-in-law appreciated was that I learned how to make a roti.
right.
Now, I did that because I understand what it is to not be able to eat rice every day.
Correct.
And that is the same for my husband.
Correct.
If he does not get to eat roti every day and eat only rice, it won't sit right with his stomach.
Right.
Because for me as a South Indian, if I eat rice, I will feel full. If I eat roti, I won't feel full.
Right.
It's the opposite for him. So I put an effort into learning how to make a roti, and I do it for him.
Yeah.
Now it's both balanced. But let's imagine I have to go and live with my in-laws. My in-laws are, they're very sweet. They said, beta, bring your rice. We will cook and, you eat whatever you want over here, so that, your digestion is all okay.
Yeah.
And my digestion is shit. I have the worst digestion.
Everything possible. You name it about digestion and she's got it.
Yeah, and thankfully my mother-in-law understands that, if something goes wrong with my digestion, my entire health will go upset.
Yeah.
So she's like, beta, you get your rice, we'll cook, we'll figure out, okay, spice nahi khana, kya nahi khana, braces ki wajah se you cannot eat this sabji. And they've given that space to adjust, and they acknowledge. But for some people, they do not have that privilege, that opportunity, that understanding, parents or in-laws or whatever.
Yeah.
And that is where, difficulties come. And if you adjust, it will impact you. You will end up having resentment.
Correct.
So it's always good to speak up, speak your mind and tell, see, okay, I need itne ghante ka neend. If I don't get itne ghante ka neend, I will become chick. I will fight with the husband will fight with me. Entire ghar ka mahal kharab hota. Parents will also get chick.
Pura let me sleep.
Thoda ek ghanta mere ko aur son do.
Yeah.
Neighbors do not have to know that I woke up at 10 a.m. or 9 a.m. or 12 p.m. today. One day it's okay. You don't have to tell the neighbors. Everybody will be happy in the house. Simple things.
Yeah. And like the cooking thing, like she mentioned, her husband likes to eat roti. It's the same. I like to eat roti, and my husband is used to eating rice. Now I mentioned I don't like cooking. I don't know how to make rotis. I am still learning. But my husband learned it for me, because he's like, how long is she gonna order the roti from outside and eat? So he, as an act of love, he learned how to make rotis, and he makes sometimes वो थोड़े ऐसे कच्चे पक्के रह जाते हैं, but most of the time
it's the effort
that counts. But in the beginning, my mother-in-law only would cook all the time, and I would not like the food because I was not used to eating the South Indian food. Right, even though I was born and raised in Hyderabad, the cuisine at my house was always a North Indian cuisine. So I'm just used to eating that. So I didn't like it, and I had lost a lot of weight also beach mein, because I would not eat, and because I was doing night shifts. A lot of things had happened, and I lost a lot of weight beach mein. Then my mother-in-law did try to make something that maybe I would like to eat or something. But she's 60 years old. How much can she try?
Yeah.
And even like how I am set in my ways, she is also set in her own ways. So there's not much that you can change, and especially at that age, it becomes very difficult. Then eventually, I started, trying to cook something. If not me, then my husband cooks. He likes to cook, uh, as in it's his hobby. So he cooks most of the time. Now he has a lot more time because he's quit his job. He just does music, but. Other than that, because he has a lot of time in hand now, he cooks most of the time. He cooks. The times that he can't, I cook. The time where both of us don't have, like आज बनाने का मन है, we order from outside.
It's that 100.
Yeah.
100 may say some days I do 90, you do
Yeah,
10.
correct.
Some days we do 50-50. Some days we do 40-60.
Yeah.
Some days we do 20-80
Yeah.
or 80-20.
It can never be 50-50, guys. It's
Never.
a delusion. That's another reality that I figured after being married is you can never be 50-50. I mean, even between you and I, there are days where I have 80% of the energy and she has 20, and we mix it together and we make it a 100. And there are also days where I'm also on a 20 and she's also on a 20,
and then we both put it together and we make it a 40.
so that we get through the day. And sometimes it is a 40. You can't be 100 every day. So a lot of principles about being married, I think, be best friends with your partner.
Yeah.
Is the first step. Like
communication.
Yeah.
That's like one thing, and we'll talk about that extensively in like the next coming episode. But bro, one thing I want to address is अपना तो love marriage है ना? I keep reading on Reddit, okay?
Yeah.
And the arranged marriage market
Yeah.
is so fucked up, okay? I'll tell you why. So this is what I think. Okay, this is like my opinion.
Yeah.
And you know how Instagram is like, okay, it's a very aspirational visual aid for people, okay?
Right.
As in, even people who earn 20k per month have an iPhone at 6k EMI.
Correct.
6k EMI per month. It's that aspiration that this is the luxury that I see everywhere.
I should have it.
I should also have it. Okay, now they do not know that these people who are posting on social media come from generational wealth, or maybe they have like a lot of or they're doing something illegal, or they actually put in itna effort, they put 18 hours a day and they do all of that. They don't know that. But there's that aspiration that I also want to eat at 5-star restaurants, I want to go to 5-star hotels, I want to have, fun, international trips and all of that. It's that aspirational luxury that people want.
Yeah.
Now, in the arranged marriage market, what happens is, the girl, now because I am a straight female, I can tell from that point of view. The girl, even though if she's earning 2 lakh per annum, 3 lakh per annum, 5 lakh per annum also, her family searches for a groom who earns 10x of the girl's income.
Absolutely.
Owns a house, owns a car, and lives away from his parents. These are the restrictions. And the man must have hair, he must earn in crores, he must not be bald, he must not be short, he must he must be handsome, he must be this, he must be that, like conventional traditional beauty standards. Ideal man they'll search.
Yeah.
And the girl, okay, what is the boys also reject the girl. अब वो girl को कैसे reject करते? हमको they want traditional girl. Sometimes these people, they want शादी के बाद should not work, slim, trim, long hair, fair skin, milky white, तमन्ना जैसे, and एक दाग नहीं चाहिए, घर का काम, झाड़ू, पोछा, everything. Now the boys will reject girls based on this, girls family will reject boys family based on this income and all of that, okay? And all this happens. Now, both the sides, groom and the bride, what I feel is in their mind is, love to मेरे को मिलेगा नहीं, because it's an arranged marriage. Correct. If I'm not going to get love, let me compensate for it in other ways. Girl will search for financial, boy will search for looks. Correct. And this is why the arranged marriage market is rigged. And it's the shittiest thing, because bro, if you are 30, 25, 40, whatever your age is, and still you are waiting for your parents to make such a big life decision for you,
You shouldn't be making it.
You shouldn't be making it.
Yeah, I mean, if you cannot take that one decision, that is yours.
You can vote at 18. Okay,
Yeah.
like which political party you want.
Yeah.
Emotional maturity, a lot of people get at 25, some get at 21, some get at 30, some get at 40, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I feel you should get married when you have the emotional maturity
Correct.
to get married.
Okay, not because you're turning 30 or 40 or whatever. And I feel like, see, even if you're getting an arranged marriage, right, it shouldn't be like, for whatever terms and conditions that she just mentioned, एक तो stop filtering like that, ठीक है, बकवास. Nobody is all everything in one. सब कुछ ना कुछ कमी है ही सब में. And एक पहले
humans, bro.
Exactly. And before filtering it out, no, look at what you have to offer first, right? And if you think you are worthy of filtering the other person, then by all means. And second of all, even if it's an arranged marriage, because it's a very common concept in India, I feel like take your time, spend like a good 1 year with that person.
That courtship period.
Yeah, be in that, get to know the person, and then take a decision and let that decision be yours. Let it be
Not
a guy or let it be a
parents.
girl or whoever you wanna marry. You decide if that person is for you. And I think 1 year of time is a pretty good enough time for you to at least decide ki I can tolerate this person for the rest of my life. Because see, even though we did love marriage, there are a lot of moments in our life where we are like,
शादी करके हो गया बाना अच्छा खासा था कवारा. Yeah, there are those moments.
Yeah, because you're like, dude, what is this?
My mom also sings that one song Mad Mein Daya, which is basically why did I get married? No shame, no blame, nothing. It's the Tulu version. My mom also sometimes she sings this song randomly.
My mom still says to this point where she and her, I was going to say she and her husband, she and my dad, they got married when they were 21 years old. And, this, I'm not saying this as a general statement, but most women are more mature than the guys are. Like it's 1:3 ratio. Like if a guy is 3 years old and if the girl is 1 year old, the maturity level matches. That is and there are a lot of guys who are way more mature.
Like take a 30% above your age, वैसे you're saying,
huh? Like keep like at least minimum of 3 years of age
3
gap.
years, like 10% of your age, वैसे.
But there are also a lot of guys who are very mature, more than the girls sometimes. Girls are very dumb also sometimes. I'm just saying this is like a general this thing that I'm saying. I'm not talking about all men. Don't get triggered. So, so my point was my dad was also 21, my mom was also 21, and they dated each other for 9 years, and then my dad decided that I no longer can live without her. I want to get married to her. So they got married. But the thing is, when you're 21 years old, let it be a guy or let it be for a girl, you're still very, very, very dependent on your parents for everything. Even though my dad had a job or, my mom had a job, whatever, you are still very dependent because you're very young. I think when you're 21-year-old, you do not have the mental capability to
make decisions on your own.
Yeah, to take the responsibility of another person. And she doesn't regret getting married to my dad. Of course, she was in love with him, but she just says maybe we should have waited a little longer so that the beginning of our marriage would have been a lot better. Like my dad couldn't take a stand for her in a lot of ways because he was very naive and scared.
Of course, he was 21 years old,
he was barely making ends meet. And then within like a year, I was born. So एक ही नहीं संभल रही थी, अब बच्चा भी हो गया. And a kid is an 18 years project, right? So he had to grow up very fast, wherein they didn't have the time to play husband and wife.
Yeah.
They became mummy papa. and then एक के बाद एक responsibility बढ़ती गई. So that's the advice. That's the second advice that we'd like to give you.
When you want to get married,
When you think it's
more, I mean, it's not about the person that you're getting married or the family that you're getting married into. It's about yourself. Figure out if you are ready, emotionally ready to invest and commit to another person and grow with them emotionally. That's what you need to ask yourself before you get married. And if your answer is yes, then
get married. And if you feel like, if you're with somebody for like 10 years and you ask yourself, should I get married? Don't get married, because you asking that question itself says that you're not ready. Because nahi to wo question hai. For us, example, I dated Varun for what, 4 months, and she dated also for March.
We knew each other. My thing with my husband was, listen, I am ready for commitment. I am in the mood to get married.
मुझे शादी करनी है बहुत जोर से.
Are you also in it to win it? Are you also in it to get married? Or is this time pass for you? He's like, no, I'm also shadi ready. I'm like, nice. Marriage, okay. Relationship next.
That's pretty much it. I mean, both of us were very serious in our relationships from the beginning. She got caught first in her relationship.
But we'll tell the story next time.
Next episode.
You need a reason to keep watching our podcast, right?
Absolutely.
So we need to leave you with cliffhangers.
Correct.
So tune in to the next episode
and know our journey,
our meet cutes with our husband, and then shadi cute, no, meet cute, and then the moment of the parent reveal. And then fiance reveal, boyfriend reveal to parents, and then parents doing interview round, and then all of that, and then the whole parents being like, okay, booked, and then the wedding, and then communication with your spouse and all of that. So stay tuned and
comment down below what your marriage looks like, if you can relate to anything that we said, or if there's something in specific you'd like to ask us that you want to that we can talk about in the next podcast. Please let us know, comment down below, and we'll be happy to share our thoughts.
And until then, hit that bell icon, subscribe. We need your subscription.
Share, comment, like,
and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.